Good morning, sixth grade. Welcome back to Pod. Let's hop right in. It's good to sort of see you guys. First off, wanted to remind you that as hashtag Future Ready Beavers, we expect you to be eager, invested learners. The kind of students that are invested in making their future, their own future, that of their family and friends, the people around them, and maybe the world at large a little bit better. So they're invested in that, and they know that they need to be eager to learn. That learning here at school and stuff that you can do outside of school is the key to maturity, the key to really your future. So hopefully you're eager and invested. That brings us to midterms, which are coming right up. Okay, this is the last week for your Flex 1 classes, and if you have any A electives, those will end on Thursday as well, and then we'll switch things up next week. But that's also next week when midterm report cards come up. So this is your first little 6 weeks at middle school, and if you're not quite sure how you're doing grade-wise, this will be a big indication. Okay, if you're struggling, keep working hard and communicate with teachers. Can't stress that enough for your time here at the middle school. Too many times when I deal with kids with struggling grades, I'll talk to them about it, and they honestly have a lot of excuses. It was maybe not dog ate my homework, but possibly teacher hasn't graded this thing yet, or it's somebody's fault, okay? Communicate with your teachers. If the grade's not something that you're happy with, go talk to them, okay? Talk to them respectfully and say, hey, is this missing assignment from a few weeks ago something I could still turn in for at least partial credit, or is there anything I can do? And I'll guarantee you we've got great teachers. They'll work with you when you approach them that way. So those are your reminders for this week. Now I wanted to congratulate your new leadership, your new student council. So great job to President Houston Funk, VP Eden Jensen, Secretary Paisley Castorina, Girls Rep Rayana Schmidt, and Boys Rep Nicholas Torrado. I look forward to working with those 5 people to make this school and your grade better. That's your leadership. You can't find me or a teacher. These are the people that are going to help you out, and congrats to everybody who ran it. It was a good one. Thanks for voting, and I think you guys chose well. I think those are 5 really good leaders. Our last pod lesson 2 weeks ago, we talked about paradigms. Say it with me, kids. Paradigms. Not a paradigms like make 20 cents, okay? And if you remember right, paradigms are perspectives, the way we perceive and view ourselves, other people, the world around us. And sometimes those paradigms are perfect, and your viewpoint is crystal clear, and you're seeing things the way that they really are. Sometimes they're blurry, and they're messed up, and they're not accurate. Just like you could have a wrong prescription of glasses to be wearing. So just remember, if you want to make a change in your life, you may want to look at your paradigms. If paradigms is my parents are lame, school's boring, I have some friends but everybody else is out to get me, those are some iffy paradigms. So that's where you start with change, is making sure you don't need to put on some new glasses, some new paradigms. All right? This week we're talking about a very specific kind of paradigm, a viewpoint, and it really is talking about the center. And not the center of the circle, because you don't want me as a math teacher, trust me. Hey, we're talking about your own center in terms of your life, all right? So some questions to ponder on. If you didn't know already, if you're going to ponder or think, you're required to kind of scratch your head like this. This is also acceptable. If you have facial hair, it's more helpful to do this, or just a simple, okay? So do this with me for a second, to think about your own center or the people around you. How can you tell what the center is? Well, who or what are they most interested in? What are they searching for all the time? What are they spending their time on? Okay, what are their thoughts and words about? Who or what do they spend most of their time thinking or talking about? We talked about that. And then really, what's the driving force of their life? Okay, their number one priority, if you will. So we're going to look at some possibilities today, all right, with some hypothetical kids that I made up, okay, a few years ago. And so here's a description of their life, and you're going to think, hey, what's the most important thing to that person? And then I'll pop up an answer. Depending on your homeroom teacher's preference, I can't really see you raise your hand, but maybe you could politely shout them out. I don't know. But let's get to, what's this guy's name? Brett. He is confident. Kind of has like a strut when he walks down the hall. This is Brett, right? Girls are always checking him out, dang, and the guys are like, he's cool, and they're jealous of him a little bit. Smart, popular. He kind of thinks he always should be in charge. What do you think his center is for Brent? Well, his center is actually himself, all right? And for each of these possible centers, I'm going to show you some pluses. This is okay, right, to have, and some minuses. So this is all about the semantics, some slight differences or nuances between words. Confidence is good. Confidence is something that middle school kids often struggle with. It's good to have confidence. It took me time to get confidence. That's a good thing. When you cross over into arrogance and I'm smarter and better than everybody else and I'm the center of my own world, that's not good, okay? So if you go from confident to arrogant and you're self-centered, not good, all right? Next up, let's talk about Barney. Barney used to be friends with a guy named Ted, but he really doesn't, oh, excuse me, this is Ted, who used to be friends with Barney. I think I got these names from a TV show. And Ted, like, I don't even care about Barney anymore. All he talks about is how much he doesn't care about Barney anymore. He's erased him from his phone, but maybe he still talks about him on Snapchat, and he's always telling people, like, do you know about the secret? And so he's kind of, like, obsessed with him. So this is almost enemy-centered. And you're like, whoa, how is anybody enemy-centered? They can be. And it's something that people slip into from now and again. It's not like a constant thing over someone's life. But if you're obsessed with that person, it becomes a little bit dangerous. If you don't know that word obsession, it kind of eats at you. Really, benefits? None, man. This is messed up. You don't want to be always focused on, I hate this person, I hate that person. What's really dangerous about this is obsession can go from one person to a group of people. That there's people in the world, mostly adults, who say, these guys are my enemy, I have to go get them. Stay away from enemy-centered. You don't want to be doing that, all right? Next up, we have Stephanie, a sixth grader like you. She loves phones, she loves shoes, she loves all the cool apps and video games. She's got like 30 pairs of shoes. She probably has multiple phones. Anytime she sees a cute new outfit and a girl's looking all whatever the slang is, legit, on fleek, I don't know, she's very jealous. She has to have that new thing all the time, okay? What is her center? Stuff. Possessions. That's not my kid. I just Googled somebody for a kid who has too many Christmas presents, all right? Stuff-centered, bonuses, pluses, I guess. It's cool to get new stuff. Toys, phones, gadgets, whatever you like, clothing. I could never get too many books. That's okay. They're not terrible, but possessions will never bring you true happiness, for sure. And people who are spoiled and always get their own way, they tend to really come to a rude awakening as adults. Trust me, I've seen it happen, that they're spoiled, but eventually they don't always get their own way. So if you're stuff-centered, it's not the way to go. Next up, seventh grader Tiffany loves T Swift, or some celebrity. She has all her CDs, which you guys probably don't even get CDs anymore. She's got all of her downloaded songs on TikTok or something. She's been to her concert. She follows her on all of her social media, Insta and all that stuff, or IG, yeah. And she even tries to dress like Taylor Swift. Okay, maybe this is a picture of her. This sort of kind of celebrity focus or fan focus, being a fan is fun, okay? I'm really into certain sports, movies, bands, whatever it might be. That's fun. We get to kind of follow our own interests, all right? And my battery's getting low, so we better keep going. But those people aren't perfect. If you think your favorite athlete, whoever it is, I want to be just like them, they probably have flaws, and they'll change a lot, and you'll change a lot. So never put too much into whoever it is. Some celebrity on social media, some athlete, cool, admire parts of them, but not the whole thing. All right, couple more. Edgar, an eighth grader, he's been dating a girl for a month, and like everyone, no, for reals, everyone at school is talking about it. They're like the it couple, okay? They spend all their time together, and when they're not together, they're like talking on each other, and so it's so cute, and everyone likes them. And so Edgar's center is his girlfriend, okay? So this is a boyfriend-girlfriend center. And is there any pluses? Sure, okay, when you're ready and old enough. Dating can be a lot of fun. It's kind of practice and helps you learn about relationships, which we will have a entire dating pod come February during Valentine's Day. Hopefully that one will be in person because I always like embarrassing people. Lots of possible minuses though. Honestly, there's often a loss of friends because people will spend all their time with their new girlfriend and kind of neglect their old friendships. I've seen it happen here before. I wish I had, well, I could tell you the story. There was a boy that went here when I was a teacher here in eighth grade many years ago, and I think I've told people this story before. He really spent all his time with this girl. In fact, he would wait outside the bathroom kind of like a lost little puppy when she was in there. And once he told me that he kind of didn't even really like her. It was just a thing that he was doing, and his friends didn't see him as much, okay? So that was not very fun. And there might be pressure. Maybe it's an unhealthy relationship where one partner is kind of dominating the other, never good, and things could move too fast. So like I said, we'll talk more about dating. It can be fine and harmless, but when some of this other stuff comes in, it can be really, really dangerous for anybody, but especially young people. All right? This may be the last one. I can't remember. Jorge is probably the best athlete in school. Good for Jorge. That's awesome. He was always the best at any sport he played, but he kind of quit soccer or all the other sports to focus on soccer, which is all right. But now he practices hard and plays year-round on 3 different teams, probably traveling teams all over the place. And he has a great shot at the scholarship. So Jorge's driven. He's an athlete. What's wrong with this, right? Well, there are definitely some bonuses or pluses for this. Sports, been around in my whole life. Okay, they are fun. They're competitive, if you like that. When you do well, they're certainly rewarding. It brings a good feeling. But sports are not the end-all and be-all of life, for sure. Other things can get neglected. You've probably known an athlete who cared a lot more about their sports than school. Again, friends, maybe your parents. And if he puts all his eggs in one basket, if you will, and in fact, a lot of college recruiters would prefer to see people who play multiple sports. So if someone's telling you that you're 11 or whatever, and you got to focus on basketball or this, it's really not a good idea. Play a little bit of everything, all right? And sports are great, but probably not the best idea to make them the center of the world. This has got to be the last one. I think this is the one that she likes to go to class. She's focused on good grades. This is one that sounds really good. Maybe this is the right answer, if you've been waiting for the right answer, if that's a thing. But it looks like she's really focused on school and really focused on her grades and doing well. So you're probably going to have like, oh, this is school. Mr. Schaefer's the principal. He's probably going to say this is the way to go. And not necessarily, all right? Because certainly there's some bonuses here. We just talked about how learning is crucial for your future success, obviously, all right? But good grades don't always mean perfection and that you're really learning. I've had kids in my own class or seen them in middle school who have gotten a lot of A's, but I don't know if they actually learned anything. It's okay to not always get perfect grades if you're trying new things, okay? And being driven to be the best and say, I got to get straight A's, I got to get perfect scores on the SAT, can be a little bit dangerous and can lead to obsession. So not the worst place to have your center, but a little iffy. Probably another decent option is Steve. Oh, Steve is popular. He is friends with like everyone, but he also has a group of very close bros. They do everything together, and they know for sure that his middle school bros will be friends forever. Okay? So this is friend-centered, obviously, another decent one. But just know, nothing better than the group of friends, right? It's really nice. I've seen in the 6th grade, there's this group called the Donut Gang. Okay, pretty cool group, and they're not really a gang. They're fun and nice. And it's nice to feel togetherness. That's a basic human need. When you don't have togetherness, you can feel pretty lonely. But if there's, again, kind of like a romantic relationship, if there's pressure, you have to do this to fit in. You can only wear pink on Wednesdays, whatever it is. Hey, there's like rules to be in that group. That's not good. That's becoming close to a clique. And then from there, friends can change quickly. When these people are saying we'll be friends forever, I'm not friends with my middle school friends, not at high school, and only a few from college. So life does change, okay? Friends are great. Don't make them your center. Just like this person also, and I think Jennifer for sure is the last one. She's an 8th grader. She doesn't have many friends, but she gets along very well with her parents. In fact, she would never do anything to upset her parents. She's always thinking about ways she can make her parents happy. What is her center? Well, I said the word several times, parents, right? And parents or family at large, good place to have your center. Lots of benefits for sure, okay? Some parents, I think all parents really try their best. Some are better at things than others. But most of you, 99.9% of you, likely have parents that are doing their best to support you and they love you, okay? That's good stuff. If you are always trying to please your parents, especially the older you get, if you're 25 and saying, where will my mom love me? Okay, at some point you have to come out of the nest, all right? So it's good to respect your parents, love them, have a good relationship with them. But even them, they probably shouldn't be your center either. So what the heck, Mr. Schaefer? You gave us all these options. You kind of lost us. It was a long video. Tell us the right answer. What are we supposed to have as our center? Dun, da, da, da. Covey's used the word principle, spelled that way, not principal, but I would probably call these values in reflection, okay? And values are things that really can't be doubted, that don't switch from town to town or culture to culture. Everyone believes in honesty, right? Or hard work, or patience, integrity, kindness. Those things, those values should be at your center, all right? This is a good quote. Just as a compass always points true north, your heart will always recognize true principles. So when you have a strong sense of values, no matter what your friends say or your parents say or what you read on social media, you'll know what the right decision is. And what's cool is here's all the things we talked about, or some of them, on the outside. Parent, school, boyfriend, girlfriend, hero, enemy, all that stuff that you could have as your center. If you have true principles or values as your center, you actually get better at all those things, okay? So if you have a good center, and what I would tell you at your age is you may still be defining your center and your values, but find them quick. They may come from your family or religion or what you believe in, but when you have a strong sense of who you are, none of these other spokes can become an obsession for you because you know who you are, and then you'll probably be better at all those other things, okay? So our quote to end on is from a really old country song. If we were in pod, I'd probably play it for you. I'm not a big country guy, but this one's from my childhood and I remember it. Probably because the guy was super twangy, but I won't sing it for you because that would be embarrassing. But you got to stand for something or you fall for anything. Oh, there's some twang. You got to be your own man, not a puppet on a string. Never compromise what's right and uphold your family name. You got to stand for something or fall for anything, okay? So you got to have that foundation in your values. The things we talked about can be good, but they can't be your center. You got to be your center and know your values and stand for something and stand for what's right, all right? So think about that this week. If you have something else that's taken over your center, friends, girlfriend, just whatever's on Instagram, get back to your values and who you are and find your center, all right? Have a great Monday, a great week. Talk to you guys soon.